The morning sunlight filtered gently through the curtains, casting a soft warm glow across the cozy living room where the young family was beginning a new chapter in their lives. The air was filled with a mixture of excitement and nervousness as Emma and Daniel carefully cradled their newborn son Ethan in their arms. Their home felt alive with hope and love, yet there was an unspoken feeling that something extraordinary was about to unfold alongside their new arrival. Max, their loyal German Shepherd, lay quietly nearby, his large amber eyes watching the small bundle with intense curiosity. He was no ordinary dog. To Emma and Daniel, he had been with them for years, a steadfast guardian through the highs and lows of life. Max had always been protective, but now as he looked at Ethan, there was a different kind of watchfulness in his gaze, something deeper, more instinctual. From the moment Ethan opened his eyes, Max seemed drawn to him, as if sensing the fragile new life inside the tiny body. The dog moved closer, settling beside the crib, his body relaxed yet alert. It was unusual behavior for Max, who usually enjoyed exploring the yard or playing fetch, yet tonight he refused to leave the baby's side, as if he had made a silent promise to keep him safe. Emma smiled softly as she watched Max lying next to the crib. She whispered to Daniel that perhaps Max was already becoming Ethan's first best friend and protector. Daniel nodded, understanding the unspoken bond beginning to form between the two. Over the next few days, Max's behavior became even more peculiar. Instead of his usual routine of napping in the sunlit corner of the living room or chasing squirrels in the yard, he stayed close to the nursery, his ears perked up at every little sound the baby made. His eyes never left Ethan, as if he was reading every breath, every movement carefully. One afternoon, Emma noticed Max growling softly at a shadow on the wall, but when she looked, there was nothing there. It made her shiver a little, yet she felt comforted by the dog's fierce determination to protect her son. She decided to let Max stay with Ethan for as long as he wanted, trusting the bond she couldn't explain. Max's presence became a soothing constant in the household, especially during the quiet nights when Ethan would cry or fuss. Max would quietly nudge his nose against the baby's tiny hand, calming him without any effort. The parents often wondered how the dog seemed to understand the baby's needs better than anyone else. One evening after a long day, Emma sat by the window holding Ethan close. Max lay on the floor, resting his head on her foot. It was a peaceful moment, full of unspoken love and connection between the three of them. The dog's loyalty was becoming a source of strength for the new family as they navigated the challenges of parenthood. Though Emma and Daniel had expected sleepless nights and endless worry, they never imagined that their faithful dog would play such a vital role in this new phase of their lives. Max had always been their protector, but now he was something more, a silent guardian, watching over the most precious gift they had ever received. As the days turned into weeks, Max never wavered in his devotion. His eyes seemed to hold stories, untold secrets of a bond so pure that no words were necessary. For Emma and Daniel, it was a beautiful mystery to witness, a reminder that sometimes love comes in the form of a watchful dog who refuses to leave a baby's side. The night settled into a quiet rhythm, but Max's vigilance only seemed to grow stronger. He no longer just lay beside the crib, but positioned himself so that he could see every corner of the nursery, as if scanning for unseen threats. His ears twitched at the slightest noise from the hallway or the faintest creak of the house. Settling, Max's gaze was intense, unblinking, as if he had taken on a sacred duty to guard Ethan no matter what. Emma noticed that Max would sometimes growl quietly in the middle of the night, as if warning of something approaching, but whenever she looked, there was nothing to be seen, just the gentle shadows cast by the moonlight and the stillness of their home. She felt a strange mix of reassurance and curiosity about what her loyal dog might be sensing that escaped human perception. During the day, Max was always close to Ethan. His massive body was a comforting presence beside the tiny fragile infant. His nose would gently nudge Ethan's hand or cheek, as if offering silent reassurance. The baby seemed to respond to Max's presence too, often calming immediately when the dog was near. Emma found herself watching the two of them for hours, amazed at how a creature so big could be so tender and protective. Daniel once joked that Max had turned into a full-time babysitter, but Emma knew it was more than just protection. It was as if Max had accepted a role not just of guardian, but of a companion, of a friend who would never leave Ethan alone. In this vast world, Max's eyes held a depth of understanding that went beyond instinct. There was love there, a promise etched into his very soul. One afternoon, Emma was folding laundry when she heard a sudden sharp bark from the nursery. She hurried inside to find Max standing rigid, his fur slightly raised and his gaze locked onto the corner of the room where shadows flickered unnaturally. She tried to calm him, but Max would not be soothed. He paced restlessly, growling lowly as if sensing danger lurking unseen. Emma could not explain the strange feeling that crept over her as she watched Max's behavior. She called Daniel to come quickly. When he arrived, the dog immediately sat obediently at his side, but the tension in the room lingered like a silent warning hanging thick in the air. The couple exchanged worried glances, unsure of what to make of the dog's unusual alertness. That night, Max refused to leave the nursery door. He sat silently waiting, his eyes scanning the dark hallway. Beyond as if guarding against an invisible threat, the parents lay awake wondering what Max might be trying to tell them. What could their beloved dog see that they could not? They whispered reassurances to each other, trying to stay calm while Max kept watch. Days passed and Max's strange behavior persisted. The dog seemed attuned to things beyond ordinary senses, reacting to sounds and movements no one else heard or saw. Emma found herself relying on Max's instincts more, trusting him as a protector whose loyalty was unwavering. Ethan's safety felt wrapped in an invisible shield created by his watchful guardian. One afternoon, as Emma rocked Ethan in her arms, Max suddenly jumped up, alerting to something in the garden. A shadow flickered by the window, and Max growled fiercely, his protective instincts flaring. Emma looked outside and saw nothing but the gentle sway of leaves in the breeze. She realized that Max was always ready to face any danger, even if it was unseen by human eyes. The parents began to tell close friends about Max's mysterious bond with Ethan, how the dog seemed to know when something was wrong even before it happened. Some listened with skepticism, but others smiled knowingly, sharing stories of their own pets who had acted like silent protectors. Max's story was becoming one of those special tales about the extraordinary connection between a dog and a child. Through all the strange occurrences and quiet moments, Max remained steadfast, never wavering in his devotion. His loyalty was a living thing, breathing in every glance, every touch. Between him and Ethan, Emma and Daniel began to understand that their dog was more than a pet. He was family, a guardian whose heart beat alongside their sons. As the weeks passed, Max's protective instincts grew sharper than ever. The bond between the dog and baby Ethan deepened into something unspoken yet powerful. Max seemed to sense every subtle change in the household. His ears would prick at the faintest sounds, and his eyes would follow every movement as if reading invisible signs of trouble before they arrived. Emma and Daniel often marveled at how attuned Max had become to the fragile new life in their home. One evening, Daniel was working late in his home office when he heard Max's low growl echoing from the nursery room. Alarmed, he rushed down the hallway only to find Max standing rigid with hackles raised and teeth bared at the corner of the room. The baby was peacefully sleeping, oblivious to the tension in the air, but Max's warning was unmistakable. Daniel searched the room and house carefully, but found nothing unusual to explain Max's sudden aggression. Emma, who had joined Daniel, soon felt a chill as the house seemed heavier with an unexplainable energy. Max would not calm down, instead pacing the floor, growling softly and staring intently at the nursery door. It was clear he sensed something far beyond what the parents could comprehend, something lurking unseen and threatening their baby. Over the next few days, the atmosphere in the house changed subtly. Strange noises echoed faintly through the walls, creaks and whispers that seemed to disappear whenever someone turned to listen. Emma and Daniel tried to ignore the unease, but Max's behavior made it impossible. He refused to leave the nursery and spent nights lying protectively at Ethan's crib, eyes scanning the darkness like a vigilant sentry. One afternoon, Emma caught Max staring at the nursery window with his body tense as if he was waiting for something or someone. Max growled lowly and barked sharply at a shadow flickering outside behind the garden trees. Daniel looked outside but saw nothing but empty branches swaying in the breeze. Emma whispered that Max must be guarding them from some hidden danger that no one else could see. The parents became increasingly reliant on Max's instincts, feeling grateful for his silent watchfulness yet growing concerned about what he might be sensing. Emma remembered stories her grandmother had told about animals who could see spirits or sense evil presences. Perhaps Max was protecting Ethan from something supernatural. One night, Ethan woke suddenly crying in distress. Max immediately sprang to his feet and barked furiously at the nursery door, his body rigid as if ready to defend his little human against an invisible attacker. Emma and Daniel rushed to comfort their son, but Max's unease lingered long after Ethan was soothed. The dog paced anxiously, refusing to rest. In the following days, Max's unusual behavior continued to puzzle and worry the parents until one afternoon, when Emma noticed that Ethan had a slight fever. She remembered Max's earlier growling episodes and wondered if the dog had been trying to warn them about the baby's illness before they had any clue. The realization hit them hard. Max's loyalty and instinct went beyond physical protection. He was deeply connected to Ethan's well-being, sensing changes and dangers even before humans could detect them. Emma and Daniel felt a profound gratitude for Max's silent guardianship, knowing he had been watching over their son in ways they could never fully understand. That evening, as Max lay beside Ethan's crib, Emma gently stroked his fur, whispering words of thanks for his unwavering devotion. Max looked up at her with eyes full of quiet love and determination, as if to say, "I will never leave your side no matter what comes." The family grew closer, bound not only by love, but by the mysterious invisible threads woven between a boy and his dog, a loyalty so deep that it defied explanation. Max was not just a pet, he was a guardian, a friend, and a silent hero in their lives. One chilly morning, the peaceful routine of the household was shattered when Ethan suddenly became very ill. His tiny body burned with a fever that seemed to come out of nowhere. Emma noticed the baby's flushed cheeks and labored breathing, and Her heart raced with fear. She called Daniel at work, who rushed home leaving everything behind. The house felt heavy with worry as they tried to soothe their suffering child. Max, who had been lying quietly beside the crib, suddenly sprang into action. His calm demeanor replaced by a fierce urgency, he paced nervously around the room, whining softly and nudging Ethan's blanket as if trying to tell the parents something was terribly wrong. Emma and Daniel watched in awe as Max seemed to understand the severity of the situation without a single word. As they prepared to rush Ethan to the hospital, Max would not leave the baby's side. He stayed close, his head resting protectively near Ethan's tiny hand, refusing to be separated no matter how much the parents pleaded. Max's loyalty was unbreakable even in the face of the unknown. At the hospital, the doctors quickly took Ethan for tests, diagnosing a severe infection that needed immediate treatment. The parents were overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty, yet Max sat calmly beside them, refusing to leave his family, his watchful eyes never leaving Ethan's hospital bed. Even when they were asked to step outside for a moment over the next few days, Max's vigilance never wavered. He stayed by Ethan's side through every procedure and treatment, as if drawing strength from his presence. The hospital staff took notice of the dog's unwavering devotion and kindness, commenting on how unusual it was for a dog to show such understanding and calm in a stressful environment. Emma and Daniel found comfort in Max's presence during the long sleepless nights waiting for Ethan's condition to improve. Max became a source of hope and strength, reminding them that love could shine through the darkest times. His steadfast loyalty was a quiet reassurance that they were not alone in their fight. One evening, as Ethan's fever finally began to break, Max gently rested his head on the baby's chest, seeming to share in the relief and joy of the moment. The bond between them felt stronger than ever, a connection forged through hardship and care. Emma whispered softly that Max was their guardian angel in fur, who had sensed danger before they even knew it existed. When they finally brought Ethan home, Max was there every step of the way, his watchful eyes scanning the room for any sign of trouble, his body curling protectively around the crib as if vowing never to let harm come to his little friend. The parents marveled at the unspoken understanding between the two that had saved their son's life. The experience changed the family forever. They realized that Max's loyalty was not just about protection, but about a deep, intuitive love that transcended words. Max had been their silent hero, quietly watching and caring in ways they could not explain, but would never forget. As days turned into weeks, the house filled once again with laughter and warmth, yet the memory of those difficult days lingered. Max's unwavering devotion became a legend among friends and family, a story told with pride and gratitude about the dog who refused to leave a baby's side when it mattered most. Emma and Daniel knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, Max would always be there, a constant guardian whose heart beat in sync with their son's, a bond unbreakable and pure, a reminder that sometimes the most profound love comes from the most unexpected places. After Ethan returned home from the hospital, the atmosphere in the house slowly began to heal, yet Max's behavior remained as vigilant as ever. The experience had changed him in ways the family could feel deeply, even though the immediate danger had passed. Max stayed close to Ethan like a shadow, refusing to leave his side for a moment. Emma and Daniel noticed how Max's eyes seemed to hold a new kind of watchfulness, a quiet intensity that had not been there before. The baby was still fragile, and every small cough or movement would catch Max's attention. Max would immediately rise from his resting spot and move closer, his body tense as if ready to defend against any threat. Emma found comfort in Max's presence, especially during the long nights when Ethan was restless and the parents were exhausted. Max became their anchor, a silent protector, offering calm strength when they needed it most. One afternoon, as Emma was preparing lunch, Max suddenly growled sharply, startling her. She looked around to see what had disturbed him, but there was nothing visible in the kitchen, yet Max remained on edge, his ears pricked and eyes locked on the doorway. Emma realized once again that Max was sensing something she could not understand. She decided to trust the dog's instincts fully, knowing that his loyalty came from a place deeper than human logic. Daniel began to notice that Max's attachment to Ethan was unlike any he had ever seen in a dog. The way Max would follow the baby around the house, gently nudging toys back within reach or resting his head near Ethan's crib during naps, was a constant reminder of the unspoken bond between them. The family often joked that Max was not just a dog but Ethan's personal guardian and best friend. As weeks went by, Max's protective nature extended beyond the home. He became alert to every sound outside the windows, every passing stranger, every unusual movement in the yard. Max's growls or barks were a warning signal that kept the family feeling safe in their neighborhood. The parents appreciated how Max's presence brought peace of mind even when they were not around. One evening, Daniel was outside working in the garden when Max suddenly barked fiercely and ran toward the fence, his body low and ready to pounce. Daniel followed quickly to see what had caused the alarm, but saw only a stray cat darting away into the bushes. Still, Max's reaction was proof that he was always watching, always ready to protect. Ethan, no matter the cost. Emma often thought about the depth of Max's loyalty and wondered how a dog could feel so deeply connected to a small human being. She remembered stories from friends and family about pets who had saved lives or comforted those in pain, but Max was more than a companion. He was a guardian with a heart full of love and an unbreakable will to keep Ethan safe. The bond between Max and Ethan grew stronger every day as Ethan began to smile and coo more in Max's presence. The baby seemed to recognize Max as a source of comfort and protection, often reaching out his tiny hand to touch the dogs. For Emma and Daniel felt overwhelmed with gratitude for the silent partnership unfolding before their eyes one quiet afternoon. As the sun streamed through the windows, Max lay beside Ethan's crib, gently resting his head near the baby's hand. The room was filled with a peaceful warmth, a feeling that nothing could harm them while Max was near. It was a simple moment yet full of meaning, a testament to the powerful bond between a loyal dog and the baby he had vowed to protect. The family knew that whatever challenges the future held, Max would be there, unwavering, steadfast, and devoted, his presence a constant reminder that true loyalty transcends words and that sometimes the purest love is found in the silent watchfulness of a dog's heart. As Ethan grew stronger each day, Max's devotion only seemed to deepen. The bond between the dog and the baby was no longer just about protection, it was about companionship and love. Max followed Ethan everywhere in the house, patiently lying beside him during playtime or resting near the crib during naps. The parents watched in awe as their son and dog developed a unique language of trust and comfort. Without words, Max's presence became a calming force for Ethan, who often reached out to stroke the dog's soft fur or giggled when Max gently nudged his tiny hand. The connection was undeniable, a silent friendship growing stronger with each passing moment. Emma and Daniel often marveled at how Max seemed to understand Ethan's moods, sensing when he was happy, upset, or tired, and responding with quiet reassurance. One afternoon, as the family gathered in the living room, Max suddenly perked up, his ears standing alert, his eyes locked on the front door as if expecting someone or something. Emma and Daniel exchanged puzzled glances, but said nothing. Max's instincts had never led them wrong, so they waited quietly. The doorbell rang moments later, and Emma opened the door to find a neighbor who had come to check on them, bringing a small gift for Ethan. The neighbor smiled kindly, noticing Max sitting patiently by the door, tail wagging slightly. She commented on the dog's gentle nature and how protective he seemed. Max's calm demeanor reassured her that Ethan was safe under his watchful eyes. As the weeks went by, Max continued to surprise the family with his intuition. He seemed to know when Ethan was about to cry, rushing to his side before the first whimper, or offering a comforting presence when the baby was restless at night. The parents grew to rely on Max not just as a pet, but as a vital part of their family support system. One evening, Daniel was out running errands when Emma noticed Ethan's breathing become shallow and irregular. Her heart raced as she called Daniel frantically. Max immediately sprang into action, barking loudly and pacing anxiously by the door as if urging Emma to get help. Quickly, she grabbed the phone and called for emergency assistance, grateful for Max's urgency that might have saved Ethan's life. After the scare, the family spent hours at the hospital again, with Max by their side. He lay quietly near Ethan's bed, his eyes full of concern and love. The doctors praised the parents for seeking help quickly and marveled at the dog's calm presence in such a stressful situation. Max's role as guardian was once again undeniable. Back home, Max never left Ethan's side even as the baby began to recover fully. The family knew that Max's loyalty was more than instinct, it was a deep, unwavering love that had become the foundation of their little family's strength. Max had become Ethan's protector, friend, and constant companion, a living reminder of the power of devotion. As Ethan took his first tentative steps, Max was there nearby, ready to catch him if he stumbled. The dog's gentle encouragement was a source of confidence for the baby, who laughed joyfully at his furry companion's playful antics. Emma and Daniel captured these moments in photos, knowing that one day Ethan would understand just how much Max had meant to him. The house was filled with laughter, warmth, and a sense of safety that only Max could provide. His presence was a steady heartbeat in their lives, a reminder that love sometimes comes in the form of a loyal dog who refuses to leave a baby's side no matter what challenges lie ahead. The bond between Max and Ethan had grown into something truly extraordinary, a connection that went beyond words and even beyond instinct. The dog was no longer just a protector but a trusted friend and loyal companion who shared in every moment of the baby's early life. Emma and Daniel often watched with tears in their eyes as Max gently nudged Ethan's hand or lay protectively nearby as the boy explored his world. One afternoon, a sudden storm rolled in, dark clouds swirling above the house. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, shaking the windows. Ethan, who had never been afraid before, began to cry, frightened by the loud noises and flickering lights. Max immediately sprang into action. He moved close to Ethan, wrapping his large body around the baby as if shielding him from the storm. The dog's steady warmth and calming presence soothed Ethan, quickly calming the baby's fears. Emma stood at the doorway watching in awe, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for Max's unwavering loyalty. The dog seemed to understand Ethan's every emotion, offering comfort without hesitation or complaint. Max's protective instincts had evolved into a profound emotional connection that was shaping the family's life in beautiful ways. As Ethan grew more curious about the world around him, Max was his constant companion, exploring the garden, sniffing the flowers, and chasing shadows together. The dog's gentle nature made him the perfect playmate for the boy whose laughter filled the house. Max seemed to respond to Ethan's joy with a wag of his tail and a sparkle in his eyes, their bond growing stronger with every shared adventure. One day, while playing outside, Ethan wandered toward the edge of the yard near a busy road. Max noticed immediately, barking loudly and running to intercept the boy. His quick reaction prevented a potential accident, stopping Ethan just in time. Emma and Daniel were overwhelmed with relief and gratitude, realizing once again how much Max's vigilance had saved their son from harm. The family's friends often marveled at the close relationship between Max and Ethan, telling stories of the dog's heroic acts and gentle companionship. Emma and Daniel shared how Max's loyalty had been a guiding light during difficult times, a source of comfort and safety that words could not capture. As Ethan's first birthday approached, the parents planned a small celebration, inviting close family and friends. Max was at the center of the festivities, wearing a special collar adorned with a tiny tag that read Guardian Max. The party was filled with laughter and love, a celebration not just of Ethan's growth but of the incredible bond that had blossomed between boy and dog. That night, as the house grew quiet, Max lay beside Ethan's crib, his eyes watching over the sleeping child. Emma and Daniel looked on with gratitude, knowing that the loyal German shepherd who had refused to leave their baby's side had become a symbol of hope, courage, and unconditional love. Their family was forever changed by the silent devotion of a dog who had given everything to protect the most precious life they had. The story of Max and Ethan was one that touched the hearts of everyone who heard it, a reminder that true loyalty is rare and beautiful, and that sometimes the most profound connections are found in the quiet moments shared between a dog and a child. Their journey was a testament to the extraordinary power of love and the unbreakable bond that can exist between humans and animals. Emma often thought about how lucky they were to have Max in their lives, a guardian whose heart beat in time with their son's, a silent hero who had never once left his side. No matter what the future held, Max would always be there, standing watch, a loyal friend and protector whose love would never falter. As Ethan grew older, Max remained his steadfast protector and companion. The years passed swiftly, bringing new challenges and joys to the family, but Max's loyalty never wavered. The bond they shared had become a foundation of Ethan's childhood, a source of comfort, strength, and endless love. Emma and Daniel often reflected on how their lives had been touched by the dog who refused to leave their baby's side. Max adapted to every new stage of Ethan's life, from the first tentative steps to the first day of school. Max was there, watching over him with gentle eyes and patient heart. The dog learned to be careful when Ethan was learning to run or climb, offering support without interference. Their friendship blossomed into a lifelong partnership filled with trust and mutual respect. One summer afternoon, Ethan and Max were playing in the backyard when Ethan suddenly tripped and fell, scraping his knee. The boy cried out in pain, but Max was immediately at his side, licking the wound and nuzzling Ethan gently, as if to say, "I am here with you." The comforting presence of his loyal friend eased Ethan's fears and helped him feel brave enough to face the discomfort. Emma watched from the porch, feeling overwhelmed with gratitude for Max's quiet heroism. She knew that their dog was more than just a pet. He was a guardian angel in fur, a protector who had dedicated his life to Ethan's well-being. His loyalty had saved their son in ways no one else could, and his love was a constant blessing in their family. As Ethan grew more independent, Max respected his space, but never strayed far. The dog would lie nearby during homework time or rest by the door, waiting patiently for Ethan to return from school. Their silent companionship was a reminder that no matter how much the boy grew, Max's love and loyalty would remain unchanged. The family often took walks together, exploring parks and trails. Max's joyful energy and protective nature made every outing feel safe and special. Ethan delighted in showing his friends how Max could follow commands and gently play without ever being rough. Their friendship was a beautiful example of the bond between a child and his dog. One autumn evening, as the leaves turned golden, Max seemed quieter than usual. He rested his head on Ethan's lap and looked at the boy with eyes full of wisdom and tenderness. Emma and Daniel knew that their loyal dog was aging and that their time together was precious. They cherished every moment with Max, appreciating the countless ways he had enriched their lives. On Ethan's 10th birthday, the family held a special party celebrating not only the boy but the dog who had been by his side through every milestone. The guests shared stories of Max's bravery, kindness, and loyalty, remembering how the German Shepherd had refused to leave the baby's side and had become a symbol of unwavering love. As the sun set that evening, Max lay beside Ethan, feeling the steady heartbeat of the boy he had protected and loved for so long. The years had passed, but their bond remained as strong as ever, a silent promise between them that no matter what happened, Max would always be there, watching, guarding, and loving with a heart that never wavered. Emma and Daniel often reflected on the journey they had shared with Max, the dog who had become family and a guardian of their most precious treasure. They knew that the story of Max and Ethan was one that would live on in their hearts forever, a tale of loyalty, love, and the extraordinary power of a dog's devotion to a child. Max's legacy was not just in the years he lived, but in the love he gave, the protection he offered, and the unbreakable bond that had shaped a family forever. Their story was a testament to the quiet strength of loyalty and the incredible connection that can exist between humans and animals, a reminder that sometimes the greatest heroes come with four paws and a loving heart.